Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today because we are going to unpack a massive, fundamental leap in technology. We're talking about the shift from simple, conversational generative AI to something entirely different, something totally autonomous. We are entering the era of agentic AI in 2026. Now, if you follow tech, you know things move fast, but the transition we're exploring today is going to completely redefine how we work with computers.
So let me ask you something. Is generative AI already obsolete? I know, it sounds totally crazy, right? But I want to challenge your current perception for just a second. Think about those incredible chatbots we've all been amazed by recently. Could it be that the tech you are absolutely fascinated by is already becoming outdated? Because as powerful as they are, they still sit there waiting for us to tell them what to do.
Well, welcome to 2026. We aren't just talking about an incremental software update today. We are entering a brand new era of computer science. The paradigm is completely shifting away from asking a computer a question to actually giving a computer a job. Let's look at exactly how this happens. All right, let's dive right in. Section 1. The end of passive AI. For the past few years, the entire world has relied on large language models acting as conversational assistants. We type a prompt, it gives us a response, and then it just stops. It waits. This is a strictly passive system where the interaction ends the exact moment the text is generated. And look, these systems are brilliant, but they rely entirely on human beings to hold their hand and prompt them step by step through any complex workflow. And that brings us to the core difference. We're shifting from passive AI, using it as a basic tool to write a quick email, to agentic AI. With agentic AI, you aren't just giving a prompt, you are giving a job description. You're telling an autonomous software entity, hey, monitor our server traffic, hunts down anomalies, write patches for memory leaks, deploy those patches securely, and then ping the engineering team on Slack to let them know the job is done. The AI is no longer a tool you wield. It's an autonomous coworker that achieves high-level goals completely on its own. So how do they actually do this? Moving on to Section 2, Inside an Autonomous Agent. If you want to understand how this architecture works, you really only need to remember one number: 4. There are exactly 4 foundational components that allow these autonomous entities to function entirely without human intervention. The very first step is planning and goal decomposition. When an agent receives a massive objective, it acts like a high-level strategic planner. It uses advanced reasoning to dissect that giant objective into a chronological sequence of smaller, manageable chunks. It effectively builds its own project roadmap before it ever writes a single line of code or takes a single action. Component 2 is memory, and this is divided into short-term and long-term. Short-term memory handles the immediate workflow. It's like keeping track of a variable state while coding, right in the moment. But the long-term memory, that's where it gets fascinating. By utilizing vector databases, the agent stores overarching rules and past experiences across days or even weeks of contextual learning. It literally remembers what worked last Tuesday and applies it to a problem today. Then we have component 3, and honestly, this is where the magic really happens: tool integration. This is what gives the agent its limbs. It isn't just generating text in a vacuum anymore. It can actively reach out into the real world. It calls APIs, browses the live internet, securely executes Python code in a sandbox, modifies your local databases, and interacts directly with your enterprise software. It has the agency to actually execute real actions. And finally, component 4, reflection and self-correction. This is the agent's self-healing superpower. When a normal program hits a broken API or a syntax error, it crashes and gives up. But when an autonomous agent hits an error, it stops, analyzes the error message, reframes its own internal prompt, corrects the mistake, and tries a completely different approach. It pivots until the goal is finally met. It doesn't need you to debug it. It debugs itself. Okay, let's pick up the pace and see what this looks like in the real world. Section 3, AI Agents in Action. Here we can see how traditional single-developer workflows are being totally replaced. Imagine a synchronized, automated network of specialized AI agents working together simultaneously. You've got an agent acting as the product manager, outlining requirements. Another acts as the architect, designing the system schemas. Then multiple programmer agents write the code blocks at the exact same time, while a quality assurance agent continuously stress tests the app to find bugs. It is an entire software development team running continuously, driven entirely by software. And the applications extend far beyond just building software. In cybersecurity, agents act as proactive, tireless security guards. They continuously scan cloud networks, literally simulating cyber attacks on their own infrastructure to hunt down vulnerabilities. And then they automatically patch the firewalls before a real human threat actor can even exploit them. These agents are completely bypassing traditional bottlenecks. Take intelligent data pipelines, for example. Instead of a human data engineer manually running SQL queries, database management agents autonomously monitor incoming data patterns. They automatically adjust database indexing for slow queries and generate visual analytics dashboards for business stakeholders completely on their own.
Which brings us to Section 4, the future developer.
All right, so we need to address the elephant in the room. What exactly happens to the human tech workforce in 2026? Well, let's state it clearly based on our source material. The basic tasks of writing line-by-line code, generating syntax, and optimizing compilers are entirely handed over to the machines. That manual labor is just gone. But before you panic, consider this quote from our source material. AI will not replace developers, but developers who command AI agents will entirely replace those who only write code line by line. This is a massive wake-up call. The source material frames this not as a loss of jobs, but as an urgent, necessary evolution. Human developers aren't going away. We're leveling up. So how do you build your new survival toolkit? In 2026, the highly valued skills change completely. You need to master system architecture, knowing exactly how to structure complex agent networks. You've got to master prompt engineering and agent governance, basically building the security guardrails that prevent these autonomous agents from making catastrophic logical errors. And above all, you need to prioritize domain logic over syntax. The highest value now comes from deeply understanding business problems and translating them into logical frameworks that your AI agents can go out and build. Which leaves us with this final, critical thought for you to take away from this explainer today. Look at your own career trajectory and the adaptation required in this massive new tech landscape. Ask yourself, in the near future, are you going to be the one writing lines of code, or are you going to be the architect commanding the agents that